Hello and welcome back. Today's video is to go over the different use cases for advanced put away and share some of the most accessible and practical ways we've seen this already rolled out in warehouses across the globe. So we're going to cover what is advanced put away, the three common areas, and then go into a bit more detail. And then to wrap up, follow up with what's next. How you can implement this in your own warehouse. So to start at the beginning, put away is the process of moving stock to optimal locations. This can be done from any location in the warehouse, and it's using pre-built logic that you define to decide where stock should live, both to improve operational efficiency and space utilization. Now, put away often is compared to move. So here's just a quick side-by-side showdown of the two different features. So put away is a consistent logic, meaning you will be able to get the same result regardless of who is doing the put away. Versus move, which is free choice. You can scan anything from anywhere, move as much as you want to wherever you'd like to move it to. Then we have the option to consolidate SKUs versus a chaos system, and you might decide on a blend of the two. Then we move on to straight to pick versus bulk replen. So this is from a goods in point of view, maybe, or returns, where you want to take everything straight to the pick face, ready to go back out again. Or if you need everything to go through bulk and replenishment from there, you can do that. Then you've got your units versus volume. So units of stock, whether that be 5, 10, 1,000 units, whatever that might be, versus the volume. And the volume being the volumetric calculation of each SKU. So the physical size and dimensions. And then it's all built behind our new fully customizable rules engine. Just on the right is just a quick screenshot of what that looks like in a simple scenario. Moving on. So the first of the three different scenarios we're seeing this used is a goods in. So every operation has a goods in process of some kind. So we have an option first of going straight to pick. So the example on the right hand side is taking this item from goods in and taking it to a location that only contains this SKU and is a pick location. So this is single SKU per location, ensuring that happens from goods in and going straight to pick, eliminating the need to go to bulk and further replenishment. We're also seeing this used for pallet locations. So pallet of stock comes in, you want to find the first empty pallet slot in the warehouse to put the goods away. Now this could be the first one you walk past, it could be sorted by the last one you walk past, it could be a pallet in a particular zone. All of these are further layers of rules and steps you can provide on top of the advanced rules engine. And then finally, for goods in, we have a scenario here where something is out of stock and you'd like to put it back into that location. We can remember where that item used to exist. And by using that, we can direct somebody to go to that exact location. Now, this can be for very specialist SKUs that have to be stored in certain types of locations or maybe a secure area. Or they can be for top sellers going straight into the most optimal picking locations, ready to go back out for a new order. Moving on to the second of the three scenarios where people are tending to use this in the most successful ways. It's for returns. So we've got returning to the first empty location in pick. As you process your returns, you unpackage them and you process them. You then say, these ones are good to resell. Let's find the first empty location in pick and put them there. That kind of leans into that chaos theory and using any locations that are available. And it's a very fluid situation in the warehouse. Then we move on to our top seller locations. So this could be identifying your top sold SKUs or your top most shipped SKUs, as there may be a difference, or a blend of both, and then moving those to the most optimal locations. So maybe at the very beginning of the pick sequence or towards the end where it's near the pack bench. And then finally, for your returns that are processed and need to have an additional step before they can go back into sellable stock online, such as reworking, relabeling, or cleaning. Those SKUs can then be put away into the relevant locations to perform those tasks. So you can say from the reworking returns bench or returns area, we'd like to put it into the dry cleaning room that you might have on site, for example. So there's a lot of really creative scenarios people are coming up with, and really being able to optimize how to use advanced put away in different parts of the warehouse. And then touching on the example on the right, this is a good example of somebody using a returns wall and looking for the first empty location in the location group called return slots. So these would be normally small slots if you're a fashion brand, single item per location, meaning it's super efficient to find an empty space and put things in, and really easy to go and pick from there too. That normally tends to be the beginning of a pick sequence as well. Then on to the third use case that we're seeing crop up quite a lot. This is for unpicking. So the most common reason to be cancelled orders. And you've got 3 different workflows here where you can either return it to pick. And the example on the right-hand side shows how that would work. So previous usage is true. So that's where has this SKU lived in the past? We want to go there. Or if it hasn't lived there in the past, maybe we want to go to ILA. Then we have the closest aisle to pick. So this would be the shortest amount of steps from the dispatch area where you're unpicking these goods, and then using put away to put them into the closest available picking locations or the closest aisle. And then finally, we have damaged goods. So this is normally for a brand which will then have a QC check at the pack bench, just to make sure that the SKU is up to spec and satisfactory to the customer's requirements and expectations. If for whatever reason the SKUs fail that check, you would then normally use unpick on the scanner to move them into a different location temporarily. So that's normally a cage near a pack bench, what that look in terms of what it looks like physically, or an area between all the pack benches where damaged stock goes to. And then the person in charge of putting away from there will take those goods and put them into the correct locations according to the rules that are set up. So we covered 3 different main areas and use cases for advanced put away. Examples of goods in, examples for returns, and examples for unpicking. Now, if you'd like to learn more, you can always raise a ticket with our support team and we'll happily talk you through the process. You can contact your client success manager as well, and we'll be able to guide you through one-on-one. And finally, we have written articles and a knowledge base explaining how this works step by step from a technical point of view, and a YouTube tutorial which covers how to set up some of the advanced rules. Thank you for your time.